Hello everyone, cute little ginger girl here again. I do need to do something about this skin. It kind of looks like a beard lopping down over her shoulder, doesn't it? Just a very lopsided one, but yeah, I do need to sort my skin out. But anyhow, so I've decided what we're going to do with this quest for the best thing is, instead of just showing off one build, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto Planet Minecraft. If I go onto a specific month, I'll look up the best. I'll go into the best section and I'll look down there, and when I find ones that I feel have really nailed a certain aspect of it, then we're going to look at them. And I'm going to decide at the end which one I thought was personally most useful to me. But then what we'll do is I'll put all the links in so you can all go and look at these builds and stuff. And there was some builds here that I wanted to do, but I couldn't get the schematics to work, so I had to abandon them. But I think I might have got them working now, so I might do some of them next time. But yeah, anyway, let's go in there and look at the 3 that I've selected for this week. Okay, so first up, we've got this one. This is Flower Cottage by Kim and Jax. And now I almost passed this one by because I don't think she gave it the best sort of photo opportunity on Planet Minecraft. And I think it was taken from inside the courtyard. And don't get me wrong, it's really beautiful and it kind of feels like you're indoors. It's so kind of hemmed in, but I do feel that hemmed in photo, I really did almost pass this one by. And that would be a shame, because what has happened here, she's really nailed the sort of natural gardens, natural sort of outdoor areas, really nailed it. And I mean, if you've got a survival world and you're not doing auto farms, I mean, even if you are doing auto farms, if you had an auto farm going on underneath the building somewhere hidden away on this, it would give your whole sort of area context. And this is just so beautiful. And what I love that she's done, I mean, she hasn't packed it in. If you see there's patches everywhere, it feels almost like it's been an abandoned farm almost, and it's been left to go to ruin a little bit. But yeah, this is just so beautiful. And yeah, you can just see that, you know, she's made it feel naturally formed without, you can clearly see this is laid block by block, and she's just done such a good job of it. And there's a few bits and bobs here that I just thought was really nailed. And it's a real shame, I will say, that the Kim and Jax didn't do the interior on this one, because there's a couple of things I almost I was trying to do this video as reaction videos to start off with, but they dragged out too long. And in the first take, I wouldn't have even noticed that there was these upper spaces. But this is where my disappointment in this build is. I just wish that she'd done these upper spaces, because these are usable spaces. The downstairs bits I would struggle to fill. They are awkward spaces, but this is a lovely space up here. But yeah, I do feel these interiors. I did read in the comments that in her description that it was left to whoever downloads it to do it at their own discretion. But I do feel you've done such a good job. You're clearly good at these sort of things. You know, the detailed stuff. I would have done at least the top floors. As I said, the bottom floors are a bit difficult, but yeah, maybe put hay in there or pumpkins piled up. I've seen some lovely techniques with pumpkins with sea lanterns on top, and it looks really nice. It looks like a little stalk. You could have done some of that in there maybe. But yeah, overall, this is really nice build. And what I would say though, if you're building on a flat world, anyone that's watching this, try to build yourself a border, because it doesn't look very nice, these outside views. Maybe get yourself some tree resource packs or something, or design yourself some and put some in, make some schematics out of them and stuff, because that's what I'm doing at the minute. With my tree designs is just trying to build some schematics packs, and then all you'd have to do is just paste all of them around the outside, make it look natural. I'm sure you're clearly good at that, Kim and Jax, whichever you is the skilled builder out of the two of you. But yeah, you've done a really good job here, and just framing your work, let's say, with trees, so that when you come in for a photo opportunity, it would look so much nicer with some little like fir forest, a spruce forest going around the outside with your paths just wiggling off into the darkness. It would look really nice that way. But yeah, I think overall, as I said, if you're looking to spruce up your outdoors and you want it to look natural, I think Kim and Jax has really demonstrated how it should be done. I really can't pick faults with this exterior. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so forgive me if I get this wrong because it's different in my save file as it is on Planet Minecraft, but I think this is Baroque Mansion and it's by somebody called Venus Rover. And straight away, wow, I mean, you're instantly taken back by the shape of it. It's one of them sort of breathtaking builds. Yeah, and I think this is what made me pick this one. I mean, especially the roofs, I think, well done to you. You've absolutely nailed them roofs. These suit this type of build perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. And as you can see, just look at the amount of depth that he's got in it. So to be honest with you, this wall's a bad example, but a lot of the exterior walls and stuff, there's so much depth that it's really, really beautiful. These pillars coming out of everything. This is a perfect example of adding depth to your walls just by making blocks jut out and stuff like that. And as you can see, he's given it all structure. If you remember on the video that I said about my Beardy's mansion, try and put it on this sort of plinth, you know, so that it's got stability. But then when it comes to criticisms, well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of my criticisms. You can see that this was an unfinished build. Venus Rover, I think he said that this was a build that he did a long time ago now, and it's just something that a finished project. Because it would have really been nice if you finished off these gardens, got rid of all of this farming stuff away from the main house, because this just doesn't happen on these sort of houses. And the same in the middle. I really could have done, I think, this area. If you cleared this area out and put a fountain in the middle, this would have been so much nicer. Or maybe a statue would have worked really beautiful here. But this on houses like this bit here is like the main entrance, and yeah, you want to make it so that when people come in, it feels like the main entrance, you know. Or that would make the better main entrance, because people would come in through the archway here. That would be the main entrance, and you'd have a fountain here, and here you are, the main entrance up here. And yeah, it would look really beautiful. But yeah, I just think this sort of farming stuff on houses like this, they usually have sort of like a walled sort of veg garden and stuff, like it would be off to one side. I think he's got a conservatory somewhere on this build. Is it over here? I do like the sort of the Oriental pagoda type temple thing going on. Yeah, over here. So you could have put a sort of walled garden around here and had all your veg there and stuff like that. And all of this could have just been sort of decorative. But you can see where he was going with it. It was because there is an area around here. You can see that these are nice outdoor areas. I think this is what it needed. Could have done with custom trees, strip all these out, put nice custom trees in. But yeah, aside from that, these are the small bits, because I don't really want to criticise on these, because he was clearly working towards something here, and it's hard to say what it was going to look like when he was finished. But when my biggest criticism comes in with this build is when you get inside, it's just very, very convoluted and hard to find your way around, which is a shame, because if you go up to these upper floors, I mean, let me just show you these lower bits. This just gets absolutely crazy walking through all of these passageways. I just get so lost. That was a bad example, that side, but there's some of these bits. As I said, I'll put links to all these in the description. If you come in and have a look, I guarantee you, I haven't even been in here. I've had a proper look of this build, and I still haven't found everything in here. God, I didn't even realise this. Right, yeah, 2 secs. Right, so I found myself back somewhere I can find my way out of. But yeah, as I said, with the inside here, and it's not the matter if you didn't put the work in, there's so many blocks been laid, but if you brought the alleyways out a bit more so it was easier to find your way around, people would have been able to find these sort of rooms, because you've got some really lovely rooms in here that you've clearly really nicely decorated, and there's clearly a lot of areas to this build. Just through your layout, you would have been able to kind of lead people round to all of these rooms, and yeah, I do feel it's a bit of a missed opportunity, just simply on the basis that there was a lot of blocks been laid in these sort of parts that weren't really necessary, and so many people are not going to find every room in this build, which is, as I said, it's a real shame, because some of them, another nice one. If you come, when you download this build, my advice is coming on this layer, so coming through here, you can see where I've already been through here, but Yeah, because this seems to be where all the nice interiors are. And this feels so much more like the type of mansion that these are. Maybe go on one of these sort of online tours, because I know especially at the minute, a lot of the sort of museums and stuff like that and stately homes have got these sort of virtual tours on at the minute. And they're a great way to research these sort of things. Oh God, is there a staircase there? I didn't see that when I came here before. But yeah, there's still so much more searching for this. And I've already been like half an hour on this build. So yeah, as I said, just leading people round on a much less convoluted path would just benefit this build so much. Because yeah, I really do like these sort of bits that you've done. The bits I can find, I like. Okay, so but anyway, we're going to move on to the next build anyway. But well done, Venus Rover, because this is a really, really nice build, and you will enjoy wandering around it. Go download it. But yeah, next build. Okay, so finally we have this Redstone Cliff House by Danny4355. Sorry if I got any of that wrong. As I said, all links are in the description. But yeah, first off, you need to download this one because there's too much here for me to show you all. And yeah, I'm just going to have to show you the highlights. There is just like a lot to see. There's a lot of buttons to press in this house. And it's really survival friendly as well. This is quite a survival house. But yeah, I'm just going to show you the highlights. So basically everything works. He's even got the analog clock. Little less complex as the one I had to go through building, but it's working exactly the same. And I think it works on the same Minecraft clock as well. It seems to, is it? I'm not sure, but then either way. But yeah, anyway, as for Danny's main entrance, it's got a lot of security, this place as well. There's a lot of secret stuff as well. I mean, if you go behind here, there's a button and it takes you up into a secret place. I'll let you go and explore that anyway. But yeah, so let's go and have a quick look in the house. I'd love to give you the full tour of this one, but in my practice go of making this video, it took most of the video took this build because there's just so much to see and do. And look, he's got one of those automatic hoovers, and it goes back in there, I'm sure, doesn't it? But yeah, either way, that's an auto hoover. But yeah, there's so much here that it's all got smart settings and stuff like that. You get one of these on all floors, so you can even turn the lights on and off from whatever floor you're on. You know, you can turn the lights upstairs on from downstairs and vice versa from upstairs. You can turn the bottom ones on. Yeah, so you got these nifty little control panels that have everything that you can see on there, you know, all the security and stuff. And yeah, it's all really, really, really clever, that. But we're just going to go see the highlights anyway. Okay, so I know it might seem really simple to you, but I'm loving the trip switch doors that he's got going on here. Now, why you see 2 pressure pads here is because he's taken into account that if I was to walk in here, the lights would come on. Now, if a second player was to walk in here, the lights would, if there was just one of these, the lights would turn off again. Now, these lights will only turn off if these are sequentially hit that one, then that one. Now, the only problem with these sort of doors is if you do have the second person come in, it doesn't turn the lights off. But then as soon as anybody leaves, it's going to still turn the lights off. That's the only issue with these. But still, it's still a clever little switch, this. And that, coupled with this is the seamless redstone that I'm always on about. I love this. I see he's put a barrier block there. But yeah, this is really beautiful, and using them as handles, yeah, that's some really nice integrated redstone and that. I really do enjoy that. And yeah, we'll carry on anyway. Okay, so I really liked his bathroom. Now, I'm a bit fickle with bathrooms. I would say it could do with a little bit more in the aesthetics department. I should be releasing a pack soon, and I think you'll probably quite like it, Danny, if you see it. But the main thing that I loved in here, that's cool. I just love that. That's a really nice little touch. I will be putting that in my bathrooms in the future. Thanks for the idea, Danny. Thank you very much. But yeah, then where were we next? Okay, so here we are. This is the thing that's at the very top of the build. This is the observatory. And even though it's not redstone and this is primarily a redstone map, this is really well done. That's a really good idea in the observatory. And with these custom heads and stuff, this just really works. What a great room. I really enjoy this. And yeah, I definitely think I'll be using this technique at some point. That just works a treat, doesn't it? Just having it inset and having the ones on the sides as well. Well done, well done. Okay, and so the last of my favourite bits that I'm going to show you is this room here. Now, firstly, the piano is lovely. I'm definitely going to be using that technique. That is really, really cool. And then this, right. Very, very cool. Really enjoyed that. That's just so interactive. That's a perfect example of how Redstone can make an aesthetic build just that extra bit funky and just interesting. And I just love that. Really well done, Danny. I'm going to be making a version of that myself at some point without a shadow of a doubt, because that definitely works. So now for the constructive criticism part. I do think there are certain aspects of the aesthetics here, especially external aesthetics, that are they could do with a bit of work, and I think a lot of it is landscaping. I think if this was a little bit more terraformed, I think there's some ugly sort of rocks here. It was an unusual choice of plot, to be honest with you. But then I'm not keen on this barren sort of thing. It does look very barren. But yeah, if you just formed these a little bit more, so they looked a little bit more natural, and then populated it with trees, I think spruce would be the natural thing to populate it here with. But any sort of greenery would have done, just to give it a bit more of a natural feel. That would have really made a big difference with this build. And as for the actual structure itself, if you heard what I said about Venus Rover's build, where it's got a lot of depth, I think this build could do with a little bit more depth. And there's certain things that, if this came out a little bit further, this brown one, that would make a bit more depth to it and would look a bit better. It was an unusual choice of materials here as well. I don't know whether brown was the right choice. And the same down here, I just feel there was a few garish choices of colour choices. And a lot of that, I know it sounds subjective, a lot of that, but a lot of the time when you're picking colours, it's not entirely subjective. There are certain things that work harmoniously together, and I do feel that this, whatever it is it andesite? It's a difficult block to use right. I think possibly diorite would have been a better substitute, but these are very nitpicky. I think where this build really comes into its own is the redstone. And as I said, there's too much for me to show. I just couldn't possibly give you a full showcase of this. There's just too much to see, so you need to get on here and have a look. You need to get on here and have a look at all three of them, because as I said, they're all really good in their own right, and they all do their own little thing really well. But yeah, so I need to pick a favourite, and I have to be honest, I'm going to have to be biased on this one. I know I said when I first did the first one, I'll try not to be biased and I'll try not to pick redstone ones. But I saw a lot of little techniques in here, and even though it's not as punchy as maybe Venus Rovers is on the first impression, but it's definitely got some real wow factor when you start looking into it. And I do think it's a really, really good build. And the fact that it's kind of set out ready for survival, the survival guys out there, then because there's loads underneath. I didn't even show you the basement. There's so much sort of survival-based sort of stuff, sorting systems for mini farms and stuff like that. This really is survival ready. So yeah, kudos to you. But anyway, I think we're going to call it there. These have all been really good builds. As I said, I'm going to leave them all in the description. You should go check them all out. To the builders as well done. The only reason I featured you is because it's really good. I hope I haven't been too patronising in pointing out the mistakes in these builds. But yeah, these are really, really good builds, and you should be really proud of yourselves. Well done. But anyway, I've been Biddy Blocks. Bye-bye. Bearded Blocks.